Cell phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
This is Devonte Lee. You may know him as someone that had one of the best Hudl highlight tapes out of anyone in the nation. This guy was unstoppable at the running back position while he was in high school and was even compared to Marshawn Lynch by Max Preps. When people talk about Devonte Lee, they talk about how this guy was just straight up unstoppable. Nobody could stop him in high school, and the guy was just a force to be reckoned with. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about what happened to one of the best all-time high school football running backs in Devonte Lee. Before I move on with the video, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, as we are on the road to 10K. Now, let's get into it. Devonte Lee attended John Marshall High School in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, where he was a four-sport athlete playing in football, wrestling, basketball, and track and field. Lee would first hit the scene for John Marshall for their football team as a sophomore in the 2015 season, where he had a great year with 162 carries, rushing for 1,560 yards, averaging almost 10 yards per carry, and a total of 17 touchdowns on the ground. He really made a name for himself as a sophomore, and people were really expecting him to have an even bigger season as a junior, and that he did. In his junior campaign at John Marshall, Devonte Lee would have a season that not many people see very often, especially on the high school level. He had 209 carries for 2,946 yards, averaging 14 yards per carry, and 37 total touchdowns on the ground. It's not even just that. In a game versus Stigler, he had 423 total rushing yards, averaging almost 18 yards per carry, and 6 total touchdowns on the ground in that one game. He even had a game where he only had 6 carries total in the game, and he still rushed for over 100 yards and even had a touchdown. Coming into his senior season, Devonte Lee was picking up steam from his junior highlight reel, where he was flipping people over, trucking people, and breaking off 90-plus yard runs like it was nothing. The guy was just a straight-up animal, and people were expecting big things from him, even more as a senior. And he would not disappoint, as in his senior campaign on 175 carries, he rushed for 2,175 yards, averaging 12 yards per carry, and 35 total touchdowns on the ground. And best of all, Devonte Lee would win a state title in this same season. Just like that, the monster career of Devonte Lee at John Marshall High School was officially over, as in his career there, he had 546 total carries for 6,681 career rushing yards, 12 yards per carry in his career, and 89 total touchdowns on the ground. Not everyone could do what Devonte Lee did. He put up video game-like numbers that one could only dream about. To put the cherry on top, Devonte Lee was also named Max Preps Player of the Year and Jim Thorpe Player of the Year while in high school. Now, knowing that Devonte Lee had a lot of hype around his name, he had a lot of accolades, he had monster tape, and he had monster numbers as well, you might expect him to be the #1 running back in his class, and maybe even a 5-star recruit. But that wasn't exactly the case. And honestly, Devonte Lee was extremely underrated in the 2018 recruiting class. According to the 24/7 Sports Composite Rankings, he was a 2-star recruit, ranked outside the top 2,400, ranked as the 152nd best running back in the nation, and the number 29 player in the state of Oklahoma. He held a total of 9 Division I offers coming out of high school from schools such as Nevada, Grambling State, Abilene Christian, Central Michigan, Liberty, Montana, Navy, North Texas, and South Dakota State. With all these offers, Devonte Lee decided to commit and go to Nevada. When Devonte Lee got to Nevada, he would be an immediate impact player. In his true freshman campaign in the 2018 college football season, he would play in 11 games in which he had 45 rushing attempts for 193 yards, averaging 4 yards per carry, and despite not always getting the most touches on the ball, he would have a total of 7 touchdowns that season. Going into his sophomore season, he was expected to have a bigger workload, and that he did, as in 2019 as a sophomore, he played in 9 games, had 66 carries for 302 yards, averaging 4.6 yards per carry, and 7 total touchdowns on the ground. Yet again, another solid year for Devonte Lee. As a junior in the odd 2020 season, he would see his production increase yet again, as in 9 games played he had 82 carries for 427 yards, a career high, averaging a career high in yards per carry as well, averaging 5 yards per carry, but this time he had 2 total touchdowns on the ground. And in this past 2021 campaign, as a senior, Devonte Lee played in 13 games for the Wolfpack, in which he had 85 carries, a career high, rushing for 331 yards, which is 3.9 yards per carry, and 5 total touchdowns on the ground. In his college football career so far, he has had 278 rushing attempts for 1,253 yards, averaging 4.5 yards per carry, and 21 total touchdowns on the ground. Despite playing 4 years on the collegiate level at Nevada, he is coming back for a 5th year for the 2022 season with his last year of eligibility. Now, if you're wondering why he has 1 more year of eligibility despite playing 4 years of college football, it is because of the 2020 season and every collegiate athlete in that season getting an extra year of eligibility. And honestly, I feel like you can expect many big things from him in 2022. When looking at his college career thus far, some may say they are surprised that we haven't really seen a huge breakout year with Devonte Lee at Nevada. But if you look closer at the team itself, Nevada hasn't really been the biggest running team while Devonte has been there. Not only that, his entire career he's been there, he's been splitting the running back room with another talented running back by the name of Toa Taua. Despite all of this, all the comparisons he had coming out of high school and being compared to Marshawn Lynch while in high school by Max Preps, I still think Devonte Lee has had a pretty good career at Nevada, and we haven't seen his best form yet. I'm expecting his best season yet in the 2022 season, and in my honest opinion, although he hasn't been getting the rock as much as he did at John Marshall, Devonte Lee has still been a reliable back at Nevada, and one that can really go off at any moment. Well guys, if you made it this far in the video, drop something down in the comment section below for future video suggestions that you want to see on this channel. And before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. B. Kelly out.